Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dreamality. Welcome to my review of Mario Tennis Aces. Is this game worth your money? Is it worth your time? That is the question I'm here to help answer. Let's begin by breaking down the offline modes. The Adventure mode is a single-player mode where you mostly play as Mario. It took me about 5 hours to complete. Here's a basic idea of what kind of story you can expect. Mario is enjoying some good old-fashioned tennis when boom, an evil spirit shows up and possesses some characters. It's up to Mario to save the day. In order to defeat the evil spirit, you need 5 power stones that power a legendary racket. It's basically the Infinity Racket. The map is laid out like a board game and it's filled with challenges. Some of these challenges are optional, others are required to progress through the story. These challenges include versing another character in a match of tennis, playing some mini-games, and there are even some boss battles. The highlight for me were the boss battles. I thought some of those were pretty fun and creative. All of the challenges are very easy in the beginning. The difficulty definitely increases mid to late game. Some of those challenges took me a couple of tries, which brings me to an annoyance I ran into. There's no easy way to restart or retry a challenge. There were times I was having a bad round and I wanted to restart, but I couldn't. Even after you lose a challenge, there's no retry option at the very end. Instead, you get thrown back into the world map and have to jump through a bunch of hoops to begin the challenge again. There's gotta be a more productive way. After attempting or completing challenges, Mario gains some XP. Every time Mario levels up, he improves on some stats. You'll also collect some rackets. Rackets do break throughout a match, so the more you have, the better off you are. Why play the Adventure mode? It's a great place to get a grasp on the basics to practice. Also, by completing challenges, you unlock stages for free play and the other modes. Overall, I didn't enjoy this mode as much as I would have liked to. The story is very uninteresting, the gameplay is repetitive. I did enjoy the increase in difficulty, but throw a retry restart option in there. Unlocking stages was nice, but not even that was enough to keep me motivated through my 5-hour playthrough. In the free play mode, you can verse the computer one-on-one or play some doubles. You can also play with up to 4 players locally. You can choose the settings of your match, but I'm very disappointed with how the stage selection is handled. There isn't a traditional stage selection screen, because that would be too simple. Instead, you have to go through a bunch of options. Look at this. Why does it have to be so complicated? In the swing mode, you can verse the computer or play with up to 4 players locally. This mode uses motion controls, so you swing the Joy-Con like a tennis racket. This is also the only mode where you can challenge calls, which is a lot of fun. Playing with some other people next to you, there's definitely some fun to be had with this mode. For me, a couple hours worth. But it isn't a mode I plan on returning to play by myself. The last mode is a tournament mode where a single player versus the computer. There are 3 tournaments, you get nothing for winning, but it's there if you want it. For online play, there are a couple of options. You can verse another person online one-on-one where there's nothing at stake. You can team up with a friend locally and play some online doubles or some singles round robin. You can create your own room that holds up to 10 players. I gotta say, I really enjoyed playing the online doubles with a friend next to me. The best part about the online experience for me is the tournament mode. There are 2 types of tournaments, standard and simple. The standard mode involves all the fancy techniques and trick shots, while the simple mode is just your basic tennis. Both of these modes have their separate rankings. It looks like the online tournament rating system is changing. At the time of this review, everyone started at 0 rating. You gained rating by winning matches and winning points throughout a match. For the next tournament, they're changing it, so everyone starts at 2,000 points. If you win points, and now if you lose rating. If there are any more changes, I can keep you updated in the comments. When you begin a tournament, you pick a character and you're locked into that character. If you lose a match, you're out. You can start a new tournament, pick a new character. If you win, you move on to the next round. The great thing is, you don't have to sit down and play through the entire tournament at once. The game saves what round you're in, so you can continue whenever you want. Another great thing is, you're not forced to play anyone. So if you see a character you don't feel like playing against, or you see an unstable internet connection, you can drop that person and find another. All that being said, you should know there isn't much balance in the matchmaking. You can only see your opponent's rating when the match ends. I noticed in the first round I was versing people who were relatively close to my rating, but later on there's nothing stopping a new player from versing someone in the top 100. Overall, the online tournament mode is easily my favorite part of this game, and it's what's bringing me back the most. The gameplay is simple enough that anyone of any age can pick up a controller and have some fun. That being said, there is a good amount of strategy here. You're going to notice it the most when you're playing some of the better players online. Every character can hit a topspin shot, a flash shot, a slice, a lob, and a drop shot. If you're playing in the standard mode, you also get this energy meter. Your character gains energy by charging up shots before swinging. You can use this energy to perform zone shots, perform a more powerful serve. When the meter is completely filled, you can perform a special shot. You can perform trick shots, and you can slow down time. Slowing down time is not only great for trying to get to balls you would otherwise miss, it's also a great way to counter zone shots and special shots. But your timing has to be just right. If your timing is off, your racket will break. Each character has a limited number of rackets. If all of your rackets break, you lose. There are currently 16 characters to choose from, and there are some free DLC characters on the way. Each character has their own playstyle and fits into a category. For example, Yoshi, being a speedy character, moves faster than others, whereas a power character like Donkey Kong or Bowser hits harder. The characters do play differently, so it's worth experimenting and seeing which one fits your playstyle. I hope we get some future updates that balance some of these characters because a couple of them are broken. There are 15 stages in the game. That number is including the variations. What I mean by variations is surface type, whether you're playing on grass, clay, or hardcourt, and whether or not a stage's hazards are on or off. The surface type and hazards do affect the gameplay. For example, if you're playing on clay, the ball doesn't bounce as much, so a slower character like Bowser is going to have a harder time reaching some drop shots. The presentation looks great, whether we're talking about the characters or the stages. A little detail I do like is seeing my username pop up on the screens when I win a point. I think that's a nice touch. It looks like we made it to the conclusion. Here are my closing thoughts. If you're interested in this game solely for the single-player offline experience, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think there's enough here that will keep you entertained. There isn't enough variety in the modes. The adventure mode is disappointing. I find it boring. I do find the core Mario Tennis gameplay fun, and it is definitely at its best when you're playing with other people, whether it's local play or online play. More than anything, the online tournaments have me returning. Here are a couple other positives. The game is very accessible for all ages. The presentation looks great. And free DLC characters. Final verdict, Mario Tennis Aces is a decent game, worth picking up on sale if you're a fan of Mario Tennis games. That is it. You have heard my thoughts, and now it's time to share yours. If you played the game, let me know how you like it. If you haven't, how does it look? I hope this review was helpful. I hope it was enjoyable. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down below. I will do my best to answer them. And of course, thanks for watching.